Okay, I thought I'd share this story because it is kind of cool how it happened, because I'm always the person that's going to look foolish. I have no concerns about running up to the front and getting prayer and being like, yes, I need more of Jesus. And that's been a long time running. About 23 years I've been, fully available for whatever Holy Spirit wants to download to me. And I get it. It looks a little weird to a lot of other people, but I've been called worse. So on this particular occasion, I was, just worshiping. I like to dance during worship. And then this lady came over to me and I thought she said she wanted to pray for me. And I'm like, okay, yeah, go for it. But she's waiting. She's like, well, you gonna do it or what? And I'm like, oh, sorry. I thought you were praying for me. Okay, so what is it that you need prayer for? And she's like, well, I got this problem in my back and it's burning down my leg. And I'm like, oh, you have sciatica? She's like, yes, and I've had it for years. And I'm like, anything start this problem? Like, what really originated it? Was it an accident? She's like, no. I do remember though, my ex-husband walked out the door and that kind of did it. I'm like, oh, okay, well, we can deal with this. Now, I do know that there are probably 100 different parts that go into making a judgment towards somebody and also taking on suffering or hurt or offense. And then it festers into bitterness. But I'm not going to do that blanket prayer like, have you forgiven? Because at that moment that he left, she probably has all these different parts and emotions that need to also forgive. So we're going to do the baseline. Can you picture him? Can you kind of lift him up right now? And God will do the process of, forgiving all those different aspects and angles of, the unforgiveness. And that'll be a process. But right now we just want to make some room so that he can get to the heart and then get to the body. So yeah, she was cool. She went along with it. And I put my hand on her back, and I've had sciatica. Now, here's the thing. When you have something and you've suffered and you press in and you're like, this is unacceptable. It's not in heaven. I've done my forgiveness thing the 50,000 times. And now I still have this problem. Take it from one with chronic pain. Yeah, you're going to have to consistently take that to the throne room. You're going to have to be like, here's the courts of heaven. Here's my case. Plead it for me, Jesus. Will you please? Okay, so I said to her, as the Lord has healed me, I want the sciatica to just go. Like, it has to leave. I impart to you the healing that I have received from on high. She's like, well, what are you doing? She's like, whoa, it's getting hot. And I'm like, oh, we want that. That's great. I'm like, more, Lord. She goes, no, not more. She's like, I'm on fire. So she starts jumping around and she's like, what is happening? I'm like, well, I would take that as a positive healing. So let's just go for more. And she's like, why do you keep saying more, Lord? I'm like, because that means we're going to keep pressing in until we see the fruition, the manifestation. I'm like, go on and do something you haven't been able to do before. And lo and behold, she was able to touch her toes. She was able to wiggle around a little bit. She was able to run the perimeter of the pulpits, which I thought was really fun because, again, foolishness. And it was a win-win for everybody because we had witnesses and plenty of people were like, well, if God can heal her, then God can heal me. And that is the gift I want to give to you. If you're listening and you're hearing this and you need a healing, then you get to say, I want what other people have, because it's not true that somebody else would get it before you do. So all you have to do is ask and you shall receive. Keep pressing in, because the days are here where we get to see